Alright, this is pretty much everything piled up on the floor. It's all been sandblasted, painted like I said. The boxes are all the new parts. Bearings, seals, and bolts. All new hardware is going in. The hub that doesn't have the cover over it, I drilled out and put spring steel hardened bushings because the holes were oblong really bad, and I'll show you that when we come to it. I also had to make a jig to do all that. I just couldn't just drill it by hand. So that's the pile of parts we're dealing with. The axle housing itself, I've already gone through it, pulled the differential out. It's been completely cleaned, steam cleaned. The differential happened to be, the gears and everything happened to be in pretty good shape. I did have to do a little end play adjustment and get the pinion centered back in the ring and put new pinion seal and all that. It's all been cleaned up. A couple of the studs I had to replace. New axle breather up by the tag. Put new oilite bushings in it. So the axle right now is nice and tight as far as pivoting. Gears are all good to go. It's all cleaned and steam cleaned inside and ready for all the new parts to be put on. Alright, this is the parts laid out. Most of them are self-explanatory. We're going to start with the axle extension. It's right here. We got a spindle. This here is the bearing retainer and adjustment plate. This here is the power yoke, and it's already been mounted to the compensator ring. And then this here is the hub. Now this hub, compensator ring, spindle, and adjustment plate I got from Mike Allers. He's the only guy I know of that carries these parts. And like I said, I'm in Alaska. He's in Minnesota. And so he worked with me really well on shipping this up. And then that's the axle shaft painted black in the back. And I painted that because keep the rust down. Inside there's a seal, and this part's in the oil, but the rest of this was just open. And it was, like I said, completely packed in there with mud and highly rusted, so that's why that's painted. So these are the parts that are going to go on this right side first. Now this is the left axle extension, and these are directional, I mean, as far as left and right, and it's very important to have them installed correctly and not get them reversed. So before I took it off, I ground a little spot right there and marked it, so I wouldn't have any problems getting it back together. So just wanted everybody to be aware of that before I just start putting this back together. This is the Timken bearings that I ordered from United Kingdom. It's the only place I could find them. This is the bearing end race as a match set, and they're for the steering caster and camber bearings.